Vince look, under pressure. He'll continue to run. Vince to the 5. Young, touchdown Texas. Touchdown Vince Young. The ball game is over. The Texas Longhorns have won it. A championship. The Texas Longhorns are college football's national champions.
Okay. He's going to be fine. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I got something to cheer you up.
Yeah?
It's time for our Hot Topic of the Week, brought to you by Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr., home of the $6 burger, 1/2 pound of charbroiled, 100% Angus beef, American cheese, tomato, lettuce, red onions, pickles, mayo, ketchup, and mustard on a sesame seed bun. Get yours only at Carl's Jr. See, now, doesn't that make you happy?
It does, it does.
Wow, okay.
Is that good?
I begged you to get therapy. All right, we can't wait to sink our teeth into another season of college football. Of course, kickoff just weeks away, and our first guest knows what it's like to taste that championship meal. Last year, he watched Vince Young blossom into a superstar, especially during that national championship win against USC in the Rose Bowl. Please welcome the coach of the Texas Longhorns, Mack Brown. Hi, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Chris. How are you and Rodney?
We are doing very well. Thank you very much.
I am doing good, Coach. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great, Rodney. We've got some crystal in the house behind us. I know that you appreciate, and we like it. But we had our first practice on Monday, and we're excited about moving forward.
I like that crystal behind you, man. But I got to tell you that Rose Bowl loss for SC still stings a little bit, man. Are you still reveling in that victory?
Rodney, I think we are, simply because we beat a great team. 34 straight wins is unbelievable, and it'll probably never happen again in college football. And Pete and his staff have done the best job in college football for many, many years, and I think that's what made it such a special night for us. And it had been 35 years since the University of Texas had won a national championship.
Well, Coach, a lot of us feel like it was the best game that we had ever seen as fans. At what point did you realize you were into something special?
We felt like it about the week after the championship game with Colorado when we started watching SC film. We thought they were the best offense we'd ever seen. They were playing great on defense. Pete's got a fabulous defensive mind. So for us, we thought that it could build up as one of the best games ever, and thank goodness it ended up that way.
It certainly was. And I said this before, and we had Vince Young on the show a while back, but for me, watching that game, it was the single best performance by a quarterback in college football that I've ever seen. And I truly believe that. How proud were you of Vince Young that day?
Well, Rodney, I thought it was probably the best performance since you played. So I did know
nice.
that it had to be at that time, because I'm a Rodney Pete fan, and I wasn't while you were standing across the field cheering against us as I watched the game, because I watched you over there very closely. But very, very proud of Vince. Vince is a guy that fought his way through some adversity when he got here. A lot of people said he couldn't be a college quarterback. They thought he should be a wide receiver or free safety. He kept his nose to the grindstone and ended up having one of the best years in college football history, if not only the best performance that night.
Well, Coach, obviously we know that Vince Young can run. We know he can throw, and when he visited us in studio, we learned that he could, well, work on the farm as well. He milked the cow on our show, as you can see. Obviously one of your prouder moments, I'm sure, as head coach at Texas. Nice dance, Rodney. Did Vince tell you anything about that effort?
Well, I happened to be watching that show that day, and I couldn't focus on Vince because I was enjoying Rodney wear that beautiful burnt orange jersey so much that it was a proud moment for me, and I'm just really glad I didn't have to see Vince in an SC jersey.
Rodney, you look good dancing.
I did look good in that burnt orange jersey.
Yeah, you could move. You could move back in the 80s. Bit. Actually, you were a very highly recruited quarterback, and Coach, you were working at Oklahoma back in 1984 when Rodney was coming out of high school. You were the offensive coordinator, but you guys, for some reason, decided to recruit Troy Aikman instead of Rodney Peete. Smart move,
Well,
Coach.
we mentioned the option to Rodney, and he didn't return our calls.
That's a true
He said,
story.
I'm into this passing stuff. I am not running an option. So
That is a
Rodney
true
was
story.
too smart for us.
Wait,
That
were you recruited by us?
I was. That's a true story. Barry Switzer called me several times, came to my house, and said, you know, we run the bone here at Oklahoma, and we might change a few things up and throw the ball a little bit more. And I was like, no, you're not. So I'm going west, and I went to SC. But that is a true story.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, it worked out great for you, Rodney, and so proud yesterday or Saturday for Troy Aikman being in the NFL Hall of Fame, and he's very deserving.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, now that you guys are national champs, do you get Matthew McConaughey and Lance Armstrong come hanging out in your office all the time now?
Well, Roger Clements, we've got this group of guys that we're trying to get some of that magic to continue to rub off because they won a lot more than one. So Bobby Bowden and Joe Paterno said a number of years ago, if you stay at this long enough, as a head coach, you'll win a national championship. And as soon as you get through with that one, you'll want another one. And that's the way we feel right now.
Well, Coach, you have another killer schedule, obviously, in the Big 12, but you open things up against North Texas. That's on September 2nd. But the big one we all have is circled. It's a 1-versus-2 game in the coaches' poll, at least. You guys hosting Ohio State. And you had that great game last year in Columbus. And obviously, this is something that you embrace and your players embrace, correct?
Well, we did, Chris. It's not happening much in college football anymore because of the BCS. Colleges and universities are shying away from these games, but obviously, we've got to play well against North Texas, but Jim Tressel, Ohio State, one of the great programs right now in college football, and I felt if they had beaten us in that game last year, they probably would have played SC for the national championship instead of us.
Wow. Now, Coach, speaking of that game against Ohio State, I'm thinking about coming down. Is there any way I can get some tickets?
Well, last time I saw you, you were on the opposite sideline, so call Ohio State, Rodney. We're full.
Very nice. So, Coach, seriously, now that you've come back as defending national champs, those kids that were able to play on that squad last year, you know, how do they keep a level head?
We felt like if Vince had come back, it probably would have been tough not to be complacent because people would have been talking about us being the #1 team in the country and a pretty sure shot to repeat like they did SC last year with Matt Leinart. But when Vince made his decision, which seems to have worked out pretty well for him, by the way,
Yeah.
Since he's made that decision, we've got to go back to work. We've got 16 starters returning from the national championship team, but we don't have any experience at quarterback. We've got 2 good young players, so we've got a lot of work to do between now and the opener.
Well, don't forget that now the BCS, its home is Fox, so we can see you there in January. Coach, hopefully we will do so. We appreciate the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
Matt
Coach.
Brown, your defending national champion Texas Longhorns. And look who is here and wanted to see his old coach. That's right, Vince Young. He got a day off from practice with the Tennessee Titans. Oh, yeah, you can still hook 'em horns. Better than that fight-on thing you do.
Oh, come on.